Hi everyone. You'll notice that two of my lab videos are side by side in case you wonder why I'm wearing the same outfit. You probably don't care that much to notice that. We're going to be looking at MFC right now, and this is one of those things that I get a little nervous because it's easy to break your code if you're not careful. A lot of people loved MFC until they get to like a Saturday night or sometime before they're about to submit their final solution, and they're about to make it, and then everything stops working, and they have no idea why. So just be aware that if you're doing something like an MFC project and you're close to finishing, submit what you have, work on it some more, submit another version of it if it keeps on working. What you don't want to do is sort of, you don't want to wait till the last minute, but you also don't want to be assuming that your code is always going to keep on working, because there's a lot of global variables, and this is why we say don't use global variables. MFC relies on them. A lot of global variables that you'll set up that will end up just not working for you. Like if things get out of sync in some way, bad things can happen. I'm not expecting it for you guys, but I've done enough of this now to learn to be afraid. Because you don't have full control of the entire system. That, at least for me, it scares me a lot. Okay, so hopefully we can do this. Here's a dialog. Here's what this thing is supposed to look like. Great. I have a sample edit dialog. I could actually look at what the properties of this thing are. So I can look at all the various parts, like whether the text, what the alignment of the text, whether I have a scroll bar, whether it scrolls, what the border actually looks like, or if it has a border, I should say. And I can even look at what kind of events I have, or if I have any particular events. Do I have a variable associated with this thing? And properties, there we go. This thing has a particular ID, IDC operand 1. This thing will be IDC operand 2. This will be IDC result, right? I want to give it a name that I can find later. If I look in my code, let's see, IDC result. So I'm going to find in files, just in case, and IDC result. The entire solution. Do I want to look at the entire solution? Let's find out. No, let's look at the entire solution. Find all. Everywhere the word IDC result is, it's in resource.h, that's fine. We're not opening that. Tutorial 9.rc, fine. By the way, this is tutorial 8, but renaming things, I'm terrified of doing that. Here's where it gets used in the code. This is the due date exchange that I talk about in the videos, where I will get the particular. So I have the data exchange, the C data exchanger. I will look for this particular ID, and I will get a member variable that is the result, or vice versa. It'll go from a particular member variable mResult to this ID. I will get the ID from the widget itself based on that ID, and either put it into this member variable here, mResult, or take mResult and put it into that thing there. In fact, I can do find in files for mResult, and that will tell me all the cases where mResult is used. Okay, when I make my initial dialog, I will do this. That's a constructor, set it to 0. So this is also when I'm doing the constructor, the due date exchange I talked about. And when I click on one of the buttons for addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, here is a callback for when the addition button is clicked. Here's a callback for when the subtraction button is clicked. Here's when the multiplication button is clicked. Here's when the division button is clicked. I set my result value, and then I update the data. So I update data true. So I say, hey, I'm about to update my data. So do the due date exchange soon, very, very, very soon. I change my value for result, and then I say update data is false. And when that happens, it says, okay, everywhere I had mResult change, I'm going to change what it's hooked up to. I will change what that ID thing is. Okay, let's see it in action. Hopefully. There we go. So I said I'm going to use 5, 7, This doesn't do anything at all yet, but if I click addition, I will call this callback, the on button clicked division, addition, subtraction. So the addition version of that function. Okay, by the way, you'll notice I even do an AFX dump to show, just so I can see what's going on in my code. All right, so it calls this particular function here. I'll get to here, the M result will change, update will be set to false, and I'll be checking the radio button to make sure it works. Okay, let's have a look at what this thing does. Hey, 5 plus 7 is equal to 12, right? The result is based off of this member variable and this member variable, and those were actually set. When I click this thing, it gets that member variable from the field. That the M operand 1 will be set based off of what data I put into this field. So if I put in 7, nothing's going to happen yet until I go like subtraction. And now I've changed my result. So what I want to do here, and I have a couple more points in here, I can also, let's do division, it gives you 1. I can also choose what kind of flavor toppings I think. I have lemon, okay? It's just a combo value box. This is the more advanced part of the lab. If you don't get this far, that's okay, but it's good practice. This is using, I do believe, a different way. This is member variables versus global variables over here. I can also set chocolate sprinkles, and notice when I set the checkbox or not, it'll give me a different message. The message itself being here, put it down here, is based off of what the values are set in here. If I set the sprinkles, so checkbox sprinkles, and then it says something about whether the checkbox worked or not. I'll get a callback, I'll set some values. That's what this whole MFC tutorial is all about. It's there to give you step-by-step instructions so that you can do your own version of getting user input and outputting something, whatever format you want, whatever kind of project you want. And I've seen some really interesting projects. So don't do, temperature conversions, because that's from the lecture. Don't do sprinkles or whatever, and that math calculator thing that we just did. Try something else. People have come up with some fantastically original projects. It's open-ended. We're not going to judge you based on, if you give me something really very inappropriate, maybe we might judge you, but we're wanting to see your creativity here. Okay? So that is how MFC will actually end up looking. Consult the actual lecture videos for how MFC actually operates, rather than me reiterating what we are doing here. I just wanted to show you this application in its full gory details with everything working. Okay, with that, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.